Hi, I'm Bybreen Samuels and welcome to another episode of Soul Stirring Astrology, where I give you my textured take on the world of astrology. Well, we have Mercury turning direct in Taurus on May the 22nd, so there's a breakthrough, another reprieve from this retrograde cycle. And the actual direct motion of Mercury takes place under the change of sun signs because the sun moves into Gemini. It's also forming a conjunction with Venus. Mercury actually rules Gemini, so during this period of Mercury going direct, it's in a very powerful position. It's the pivotal planet over the next week or so. And what it does is that it reactivates in another way this grand Earth trine that's taking place between Mercury, Jupiter and Pluto. Because previously it's been in the retrograde motion, so there's been this internal focus, and now that it's going direct, it's time to illuminate that grand Earth trine. Now, previously I've spoken about the grand Earth trine in terms of its ability, or your ability, to generate wealth and resources, or to use your latent talents or obvious talents in a way that's going to be able to enable you to flourish in life. However, I want to give you another dimension in terms of this grand Earth trine, because Mercury deals with thinking, writing and speaking, communication generally. And it's forming trines to both Jupiter and Pluto. So if we look at Pluto, for example, you might find you have a compulsive need to communicate profound things, ideas, things that have been dredged up either from the past, or you might be uncovering secrets that you feel that the world needs to know about. It's also dealing with the possibility of you challenging authority figures or governments or institutions or laws, because you feel that it's time for situations to be revolutionized in one form or another. And you have the confidence and the commitment and the focus in which to do it. On the other side, you've got Mercury and it's trining Jupiter. And so this is about the grand vision. It could be about world affairs. There's something in the world that really grabs your attention. It grabs your heart. And you want to speak about it because you want to illuminate the issues that affect a wide range of people. And what you're seeking to do is to harmonize the world by using your voice. And if you bring those three elements together, the power of communication, we've got Mercury, then it's about potentially challenging authority figures and then speaking about those issues that could have a wide impact on the world. So a good example of this is currently, as I mentioned, that Mercury turns direct on the 22nd of May. However, on the 23rd and 24th of May, the United Nations hosts its very first World Humanitarian Summit. Now, if we think about it, the UN was set up 70 years ago, and it was about dealing with world crises after the Second World War with refugees in Europe. And here we are 70 years on, and in 2015-16, the UN spends about £25 billion in terms of tackling crises right across the world. And so with this summit, it's about looking at other ways in order to help displaced people find more security and safety in the world. And that's very much a Jupiterian issue, because Jupiter is in Virgo. It's in an earth sign. So it's about looking at the whole world and possibly our place within the whole world. And it's looking for equity and justice. And it's about the principles and the philosophies in which we are governed within the world. And so this grand trine is the mercurial side coming out, wanting to challenge, wanting to test, wanting to strengthen the thoughts and feelings around how refugees and displaced people are feeling around the world. So through the summit, for example, what they're seeking to do is to reactivate and reinvigorate the thought and the commitment around humanitarian issues, and also wanting to share good practice. And this sounds fine and dandy. However, another example of how Mercury is used here is by the campaign group, and they're called Médecins Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders. And what they do is they provide medical care anywhere in the world for people who are in need of it. Now, Doctors Without Borders has boycotted this summit because they don't believe that the issues and the weaknesses that are inherent in the whole area of war-torn and crises and helping displaced people, they don't fundamentally believe that the UN is going to be able to deal with these issues. So here we have Doctors Without Borders acting as Mercury in this powerful Earth triangle about raising our awareness of what actually happens to displaced and people who are suffering in the world, and how authority figures choose to deal with it. So bringing it back into your world, how are you able to galvanize these particular energies, these earth energies, so that you are showing up, for example, as a messenger, as somebody who's committed to a particular cause. That could be a cause in your local area, or it could be a cause within the world that you really are passionate about and that you want to share your message, convey your message with the world. It could be a time where you're seen as an inspirational speaker, because you're prepared to use your voice to impact and empower other people. And so therefore it's a time for you now to, whatever you've been thinking about while Mercury was going retrograde, no doubt you've given some thoughts around the things that are really important to you, and now is the time for you to put that plan into action. We also have Jupiter in Virgo, and it's forming the trine, as I said, with Mercury. And so you might be thinking about health issues and thinking about, the fine details that are required to transform your health, other people's health, but bringing in the detail that enables you to implement it. So, for example, how I'm choosing to use this Mercury energy is that recently I've added another series to my channel, and it's called Type 2 Makeover. And this series is focused on empowering other lay patients, how they can become far more proactive in their healthcare, particularly around type 2 diabetes. And so it's about sharing that information with other people who are interested. And so that could have an impact on one person or thousands of people or even millions of people around the world. But the most important thing is about raising the issue, and so that other people can then go on to transform their own health. And so you've got your version of that. And so with this grand earth trine, the wind is beneath you, the wind is behind you, pushing you forward to get your message out into the world. So very, very powerful time. Also, given that we've got Pluto and Jupiter, it could be a case where you're bringing out your writing ability, or you could be writing about issues like a travel writer, for example, or it could be around science fiction or, long distance travel. So anything that's got a futuristic dimension to it, or it could be that you're articulating to raise the profile or the concerns of younger people because they are the future generation. So it's a great time for you to move forward confidently around the issues that you really are passionate about. Not issues that you think sound interesting, but issues that really connect with who you are as an individual. We've also got the Sun, and it's opposing Mars, and it's another indication of where there may be conflict. So Mars is about anger and irritation. You've got the Sun, which is in Gemini, and you've got this Mars going retrograde in Sagittarius, and then the week after next it moves into retrograde motion into Scorpio. And so there may be conflict around ideas, and as I said, I've mentioned the Doctors Without Borders as an example. They have a philosophical debate or conflict around how the issues of displaced people are going to be handled in the world. And so in your own world, it's about you having some clarity around this identity that you want to explore, because Gemini, the Sun in Gemini, is about being playful, it's about exploring different ideas and having the freedom to try those out, as well as you've got this conflict potential that's coming in from Mars, that you might be aggravating the status quo, or you could be challenging a particular philosophy that other people hold dear. And with the Sun, and the Sun is conjuncting Venus, and so here it could be about meeting somebody who you find to be intellectually stimulating. You could be attracted to somebody who's quite mercurial, and you want the freedom to explore that interaction that could potentially lead into a relationship. So there you have it. Powerful, powerful time for this Mercury, because it rules Gemini, but also it's moving direct and it's illuminating this grand Earth trine. So that's it for this week. And the quote of the day comes from John Banyan. And what he said is this: you cannot be living today without having done something for someone who is unable to repay you. So it's a time for you to be giving without any attachment. Go forward and do that. And then the question of the day is, what issue or what concern or what message do you want to convey with the world? Put your comments in the comment box below. As you know, I always love to connect with you. Feel free to like, share and subscribe to my channel and share this video, this episode, with other people in your network. Until then, have a fantastic time putting your plan in action about the message that you want to share with the world. Until then, I will see you again on the next episode.